Right now, somewhere in the world, a man worth $400 million is standing in a checkout line, wearing a shirt with a hole in it, driving a car that's 12 years old, and haggling over the price of coffee. You'd walk right past him. You'd never guess. And that's exactly the point. Because the richest people on Earth have learned something most of us never will. That looking poor is one of the most powerful financial weapons ever invented. Let's start with a name you've probably never heard. Chuck Feeney, co-founder of Duty Free Shoppers, a retail empire that made him a billionaire. He flew economy. He wore a $15 watch. He lived in rented apartments. For decades, people who sat next to him on flights had no idea they were sitting beside one of the richest men alive. Why would someone with that much money choose to live like he had none? The answer isn't modesty. It isn't some enlightened detachment from material things. It's strategy, cold, calculated, and terrifyingly effective. See, the moment the world knows you're rich, everything changes. Prices change. People change. Lawsuits appear out of nowhere. Family members you haven't spoken to in years suddenly remember your birthday. Most self-made millionaires in America don't drive luxury cars. They drive Toyotas and Hondas. They live in the same modest houses for decades. The people flexing the hardest online are, statistically, often the ones closest to broke. Because Hollywood sold you a lie and your brain bought it. Movies need visual shorthand, a mansion, a yacht, a Rolex, because subtlety doesn't sell in 90 seconds. But real wealth isn't loud. Real wealth is quiet. Real wealth doesn't need you to notice it, because it isn't trying to convince anyone of anything. Warren Buffett has lived in the same house in Omaha since 1958. He bought it for $31,500. Today he's worth over $100 billion. He could own entire city blocks. Instead, he stayed in that same house. Every flashy purchase is a leak in the tank. Every rented Lamborghini for a photo is growth permanently deleted from your future. The version of you 10 years from now is paying for the version of you today that needed to be seen. Old money families teach their children a rule that sounds almost cruel. Never let anyone know the number. Because the moment people know what you have, they stop seeing you as a person and start seeing you as a resource. That's the second layer of this that most people miss. It's not just about money. It's about protecting your relationships from being poisoned by money. Think about what happens the instant people believe you're wealthy. Every request for a loan becomes complicated. Every gift becomes suspicious. Are they being generous, or are they buying loyalty? Every new friend triggers a quiet, exhausting question. Do they actually like me, or do they like what I have? Poor is a costume the wealthy wear so they can still trust the people around them. But here's the part that will genuinely change how you see money. This isn't really about hiding wealth at all. It's about hiding target. The rich understand something brutal about human nature. Visible success invites attack. Lawsuits, scams, kidnapping. In some countries, resentment, sabotage. The tall poppy gets cut first every single time. So they cut themselves down to average height on purpose before anyone else can do it for them. And here's the twist that flips everything you've just heard. This strategy isn't reserved for billionaires. It's available to you right now at whatever level you're at. Because the habit that makes someone quietly wealthy isn't a secret bank account or a genius stock pick. It's the discipline to stop performing wealth you don't have yet, so you can actually build the wealth you want. Every time you buy something to be seen rather than to be useful, you're borrowing from a future version of yourself who will need that money far more than you need the applause today. The billionaire in the worn-out shirt isn't poor. He's patient. And patience, dressed in old clothes, will always outlast performance dressed in new ones. So here's the real question you should be asking yourself tonight. Not, how can I look successful? But, what am I secretly performing? And who am I performing it for? Because the moment you stop needing people to know what you have is the exact moment you start being able to keep it. The world will keep rewarding the loud, the flashy, the ones who look like they've already made it. But wealth was never built in the spotlight. It was built in the quiet, one invisible decision at a time, by people who understood a truth most of us are only discovering right now. The richest person in the room is never the one trying to prove it. The richest person in the room is never the one trying to prove it.